Update 2. Maybe you should watch your kid and teach him not to destroy other people's property, I shot back. That's when Sandra's fake sweetness disappeared completely. Don't you dare tell me how to raise my children. You have no idea what it's like to be a parent. I know what it's like to have respect for other people's things, I said. Tommy is 6 years old, Sandra said, standing up. He doesn't understand your work stuff, but you're a grown woman who should understand that accidents happen. Cutting wires with scissors isn't an accident, I said. It's destruction. Marcus came into the room then, along with my parents. When I explained what had happened, I expected them to back me up. Instead, Marcus just sighed. I'm sorry about your internet, but Sandra's right. You don't have kids, so you don't get how hard it is to watch them every second. I'm not asking you to watch them every second, I said. I'm asking you to teach them not to come into my room and break my things. Boys his age are naturally curious, Mom said. You used to get into everything when you were little. I never destroyed anything with scissors. I replied. Dad nodded along with everyone else. You're being too harsh, Zoya. It's just a wire. You can buy a new one. I couldn't believe it. My own family was taking Sandra's side over mine, and I was the one paying for their roof over their heads. After that fight, everything changed. My parents barely spoke to me anymore. Marcus avoided me completely. Sandra would smirk whenever she saw me, like she'd won some kind of victory. The house felt cold and hostile. I spent most of my time locked in my room, trying to work around the constant noise and chaos. This was supposed to be temporary, but it felt like it would never end. Then I got the bonus I'd been waiting for. One of my programs had been sold to a major tech company, and the payment was huge, almost $60,000. It brought my total savings up to nearly $240,000, more than enough for what I'd been planning. I'd been secretly working with a realtor for months. Dave Patterson was a friend from college who had gotten into real estate, and I'd asked him to keep his eyes open for the right place. I wanted something modern, quiet, and completely mine. I think I found it. Dave called me 3 weeks after the bonus came through. 2-bedroom condo downtown. Great building, perfect for someone who works from home. Want to see it? The apartment was everything I dreamed of: floor to ceiling windows, hardwood floors, and a separate office space where I could work without interruption. The building had a gym, and best of all, no screaming children. I'll take it, I told Dave before we'd even finished the tour. The paperwork moved fast. I put down $100,000 and got approved for the mortgage easily. My income and credit score were excellent, and I was buying well within my means. Within 2 weeks, I was signing the final documents. I was officially a homeowner. I had my own place-me escape route from the chaos at my parents' house. The keys were in my hand, but I decided not to tell my family yet. I wanted to have a plan before I made my move. That's when my boss called. Zoya, I have an opportunity for you, Jennifer said. There's a programmers conference in Seattle. 2 weeks. All expenses paid. Some of the biggest names in tech will be there, and I think you'd get a lot out of it. I looked around my room, listening to Emma crying in the hallway and Tommy banging on something downstairs. 2 weeks away from this house sounded like paradise. I'll take it, I said. When I told my family I was leaving for a business trip, they barely reacted. Nobody asked where I was going, what the conference was about, or when exactly I'd be back. They didn't seem to care at all. The conference was amazing. I met other developers and felt like myself again for the first time in months. I stayed in a quiet hotel room where nobody bothered me. I didn't call home once during those 2 weeks, and more tellingly, nobody called me either. When my flight landed, I took a taxi home. The taxi pulled into the driveway, and I immediately knew something was wrong. I got out with my suitcase and saw garbage bags scattered across the front lawn. As I got closer, I realized they weren't garbage bags, they were my things. My clothes, my books, my personal belongings, all stuffed into black trash bags and dumped on the grass like actual garbage. I walked up to the front door and knocked. I could hear voices inside, then footsteps. The door opened, and there stood my whole family: Mom, Dad, Marcus, and Sandra. They were all looking at me like I was an unwelcome visitor. What is this? I asked, pointing at the bags on the lawn. Mom looked uncomfortable, but Sandra stepped forward with that smug smile I'd grown to hate. We've made some changes while you were gone, Sandra announced. The kids needed more space, so we converted your room into a proper playroom for them. I stared at her. You what? The children are growing, and they need a place to play safely, Mom said, not meeting my eyes. We fixed up the basement for you. It's actually quite nice now. I remembered the basement dark, damp, with tiny windows near the ceiling and concrete walls. It smelled like mildew and had terrible cell phone reception. It's been completely cleaned, Dad said. We put in a bed and everything.